Hi students, in today's session we are going to discuss about different types of shares and their advantages and disadvantages. In the last session we discussed about different financial decisions, financing decision, investment decision, dividend decision and liquidity decision. In the financing decision, we have to identify the capital structure of the organization, which is nothing but debt equity proportionate, right? So, to identify the optimum debt equity proportionate, we have to evaluate different sources that are available for the organization to raise the funds. In that sources, one of the sources is issuing of shares. Then, what is a share is? Simply in terms, share means it is a part of capital. Share means it is a part of capital. In the companies, if it is a public limited company, the public limited company have certain privileges, like it can secure capital from the public by issuing its shares. The total capital is divided into parts and those parts are called as shares, and those shares are issued to the general public. If anyone have the interest, then they will purchase that shares. The person who purchases share is called as a shareholder. By doing so, a public limited company can secure capital. Okay, so this is one of the source to raise capital for the organization. And let us see what is the definition of shares. So, share may be defined as an interest in the company entitling the owner thereof to receive proportionate part of the profits, if any, and at the same time proportionate part of the assets of the company in case of liquidation. Here liquidation of the company means winding up of the company. Here the owner have the right to share the profits. Here the owner means the person who purchased the share. That shareholder have the right to take part of the profits. He has the right to take part of the profits, and not only that, when the company is winding up or when the company is in its liquidation stage, then it get a part of assets. So, that is called as a share. And there is another definition. It can be expressed as certain invisible units of a fixed amount, that is, the units are known as shares. I already explained it, that is, the capital which is required for the business organization is divided into shares or invisible units. Those invisible units are called as shares. It is the interest of a shareholder in the company measured by sum of money for the purpose of liability in the first place and of interest of in the second, but also consisting of a series of mutual convenience entered into by all the shareholders. So, here the shareholder, how much amount is invested as a share capital by the shareholder, up to that amount he is a owner for the organization. If he is not paid any amount or if he is not paid certain part of the share amount, then he is liable to pay that unpaid part. Right. Next, let's see different types of shares. See this chart. Right. Shares. Basically, two types are there, equity shares and preference shares. Here, see this, there are three kinds, that is promoter shares, ordinary shares and preference shares. Here promoter shares means these are the shares which are for the owners, which means owners means the founders of the company will have the part in the promoter shares. If A is starting business, he has some shares, those shares are called as promoter shares because he is the founder of the business. And next one, ordinary shares, which are also called as equity shares. And preference shares, here the preference, the name itself indicating they want some preference over ordinary shares. So those are called as preference shares. And these shares are classified into three types: bonus shares, unstated value, right shares. Bonus shares are issued to the existing shareholders, and even right shares also issued to the existing shareholders. If the organization is getting profit, instead of distributing dividend, the organization may provide some bonus shares or right shares to the existing shareholders. And those shares are classified into redeemable and irredeemable, cumulative and non-cumulative. It is not non-convertible, cumulative and non-cumulative, convertible and non-convertible, participating and non-participating. So these are the different kinds of shares. We will discuss these elements in depth, right? First of all, I would like to discuss about equity shares. Equity shares. Remember one point, share is the part of capital. Share is the part of capital. Then the holder of such shares participate in divisible profits only after the claims are met of the preference shareholders. That is, they actually do not enjoy any preferential right either in respect of dividend or in respect of repayment of capital. They are entitled to receive dividend recommended by the directors and declared by the company in general meeting. So, equity shares. The company issues equity shares to the public. So, the person who purchases equity shares is called as equity shareholder. Equity shares are treated as a ownership shares. If the person purchases a company's equity share, then we consider that person as a owner to the extent of amount that he was invested in that organization. So, equity shareholders are treated as a owners, and these owners have no preferential rights. They don't have any preferential rights over preference shareholders. They will get dividend after the payment of preference shareholders. They will get their capital back after the payment of preference shareholders. Simple terms, they don't have any preferential rights and they have the voting power. They have the voting power to elect the board of directors. It is about equity shares. Let's see the definition. Section 85 subsection 2 states that equity shares are those shares which are not preference shares. Equity shares are those shares which are not preference shares. The rights and privileges of equity shareholders are laid down in the articles subject to the provisions of the Act. So, those shares which are not preference shares, those are called as equity shares according to section 85 subsection 2. And then, what are the characteristics of equity shares? Very easy. Let's see. It does not have any maturity date, which means it does not have any expiry date even. When the company closes, then only the shareholder get back his invested amount. Up to that time, he does not have the right to ask back the amount which is invested by him in the organization as a equity share capital. So, it does not have any maturity date. Till long the company continues, the investment in the company should be in the company only. It will not taken back by the equity shareholder. And second point, it does not saddle the company with a legal requirement about the payment of dividend. Here dividend means the part of the profit. Dividend means the part of the profit which is paid to the equity shareholder. But here there is no such obligation. The payment of dividend is compulsory for the equity shareholders. So, there is a no legal requirement for the payment of dividend to the equity shareholders. If the directors board are interested to pay dividend, they will pay dividend. If not, they will not pay any dividend to the equity shareholders. And next point, equity share financing relieves the company from certain restrictions given by the preference shareholders or the creditors. If we are raising capital through equity shares, we will free from certain restrictions. If we issue preference shares, we have to pay dividend to the preference shareholders. If we raise capital through creditors, we have to pay interest to creditors. But there is no such obligations for the payment of return to the equity shareholders. So, it is one of the characteristics. And next one, payment of dividend to issue by shareholders is subject to dividend tax at 10% per Income Tax Act 1961. If the company pays dividend to the equity shareholders, it has to pay a dividend tax. According to Income Tax Act 1961, the amount is 10%. And it enjoys the voting rights. Of course, equity shareholders have the voting rights. They can elect directors, board members. Next one, it enjoys the right to sell or transfer the shares. Right, the person who purchases equity shares can sell those shares to another person. They can easily sell, they can easily transfer their shares to one, he can easily share their shares from himself to other, because there is no such restrictions for transfer of shares. Right. And next one, it enjoys residual claims on assets of the company. Residual claims. If there is any balance after payment of all the obligations, the equity shareholders have the right to get that amount. That is called as a residual claims on the assets. And next one, it has got the right to receive the annual report of the company. Here annual report means the trading account, profit and loss account, balance sheet. Those are called the financial reports. So, the equity shareholder have the right to get financial reports of the organization annually. And it has got the primitive right to subscribe the issue of additional shares or right shares. Already I told you, right issue. Rights issue will offers to the existing shareholders for only equity shareholders. It will offer at discount. So, the equity shareholders who are interested to purchase right shares, they can purchase right shares. And it consists of a part of share capital of the company. It was already explained. Share is nothing but part of capital. So, these are the characteristics of the equity shares. It does not have any maturity date, it does not have the legal requirement to pay dividend, and equity share financing is relieves the company from the legal requirement or the restrictions if it issues with the preference shareholders or the creditors. Payment of dividend is taxable under Income Tax Act 1961. It enjoys voting rights, it can easily transfer shares, and it enjoys residual claims, and it receives annual reports from the company. So, these are the characteristics of equity shares. Then, what are the advantages of equity shares? First one, no mandatory payment of dividend to shareholders. I already explained in the characteristics, right? So, there is no legal obligation for the payment of equity shareholders the dividend. So, the dividend payment is not an obligation for the company for the equity shareholders. Equity share capital does not involve any mandatory payment to the shareholder by way of dividend. It depends on the earning capacity of the company. And the next point is permanent source of fund. We discussed in the characteristics of equity shares that it has no maturity date. Until the company winding up or until the company liquidate, till that time the equity capital amount is remain with the organization. No doubt equity shares are the permanent source of funds as they do not mature. Of course, if the company so desires, it can buy back its shares as per the SEBI's guidelines. For example, any company wants to take its equity shares back, it can repurchase from the equity shareholders. This is the guidelines which is given by SEBI. SEBI means Securities Exchange Board of India. It is the controller of Indian secondary market. And next one, make further issues by way of right shares. Right shares may be issued as further issue which do not make any change in ownership and control in management. Without any changes in the management and control in the management, we can issue right shares to the equity shareholders. And another advantage, it increases corporate flexibility. It increases corporate flexibility from the standpoint of planning a capital structure. If we raise capital by issuing debentures, we have to pay interest regularly whether the organization is getting profit or loss. But if we secure capital by issue of equity shares, we need not to pay any interest towards the equity shareholders. So, these are the different benefits of equity shares. So, payment of dividend is not mandatory, it is a permanent source of fund, and it make further issue of by way of right shares. It increases corporate flexibility. And the second category is preference shares. Preference. It was defined in the section 85 subsection 1 that a preference share is one which satisfies the following. If it satisfies the following these two conditions, then we call it as a preference share. What are those conditions? They have a preferential right to be paid dividend during the lifetime of the company. If the company issues dividend, then the preference shareholders have the preferential right to get dividend first, the first condition. And the second, they have a preferential right to the return of capital if the company goes into liquidation. If the company goes into liquidation or if the company is winding up, then it has the right to get its capital first before equity shareholders. These two conditions are satisfied, then it is called as a preference shares. So, it enjoys preferential rights over equity shareholders. So, moreover, the preference shareholders are entitled to receive a fixed rate of dividend before the dividend is received by equity shareholders in the event of liquidation. Right. Then, what are the features or characteristics of preference shares? Here we have to consider that the company may issue equity shares and preference shares. The one who purchases preference shares is called as a preference shareholder. He has the preferential rights over equity shareholder in the way of dividend distribution or in the way of capital. Right? Then what are the features or characteristics of preference shares? Characteristics. It consists of a part of share capital of a company. It consists of a part of share capital of a company. We already know that share is a part of capital. So, preference share also is a part of capital. Since it is not considered as a debt, no collateral security or mortgage is required. Here collateral security, if we are taking a debentures or if we are issuing a mortgage debenture, some of the asset of our company is getting mortgaged to the debenture holder, but it is not a debt capital. So, that is why we cannot give any asset as a security or mortgage. Okay. And the next one, as per section 87 of the Companies Act, it enjoys limited voting rights. It has voting rights, but these shareholders cannot participate in the management. So, the voting rights relating to the getting dividend prior to the equity shareholders and getting capital prior to the equity shareholders, according to these two cases, they will have the voting rights. It enjoys a fixed rate of dividend. So, to the preference shareholders, we will pay a fixed rate of dividend. Preference dividend is a charge against appropriation of profit. So, it is a charge against appropriation of profit. It enjoys priority income distribution of income and it enjoys a priority income distribution of income and at the same time on asset distribution. It enjoys the priority on income distribution and asset distribution. In both the cases, it enjoys the priority over equity shareholders. And it enjoys cumulative rights to receive dividends. Here cumulative rights means if the organization is getting profits, it issues dividends. In some cases, if the organization for 1 year it is not getting any profit, so it does not issue any dividend. And the next year it got some profit and it wants to issue dividend. So, here in case of preference shareholders, the company has to pay last year's dividend and this year dividend cumulative. Cumulatively they have to pay dividend towards the preference shareholders. For example, if last year they will get 10,000 and this year they will get 10,000. So, both are cumulative. By accumulating those two, 20,000 dividend is to be given to the preference shareholders. It is redeemable after the period of 20 years from the date of issue. In the equity shares, we said that there is no maturity date, but in the preference shares, they can redeemable. They have some maturity period after 20 years of the issue. Okay. And next one, it may or may not be converted into equity shares. There are certain kind of preference shares after a certain period, those preference shares are converted into equity shares. So, it may be converted or it may not be converted into equity shares. And it can be transacted, that is purchased or sold through the stock exchange. So, we all know about stock exchanges. Stock exchanges are considered as a secondary markets which provides or which facilitates the buying and selling of existing securities. In the stock exchanges, we can buy or sell our equity shares. Likewise, we can buy and sell the preference shares also. So, these are the characteristics of preference shareholders. So, it is a part of capital and it is not considered as a debt and it enjoys limited voting rights, it has some fixed rate of dividend, and it is a charge against appropriation of profit. It enjoys priority over income distribution and priority over asset distribution, and it enjoys accumulative rights to receive dividend. These are redeemable after 20 years at the date of issue, and it may or may not be converted into equity shares, and it can be transacted. On transacted means either we can purchase or we can sell through stock exchanges, right? Then what are the advantages of preference shares? The first one is less costly than equity shares. The cost of capital of preference shares is found to be less than equity shares as a source of financing. When compared with equity shares, the cost of preference shares is very less, and no control and ownership in management. Equity shareholders have the ownership rights, but preference shareholders does not possess such rights. So there is no dilution in the management of the organization. Usually, the preference shareholders do not enjoy any voting rights or enjoy little voting rights. Little voting rights in the sense to get their dividend and to get their capital back. They cannot take part in or create any problem to the management. They will not enter into the management of the organization. And next one, trading on equity. If the company can earn a rate of return which is more than the cost of capital of preference shares, it increases the earning per share by trading on equity. EPS means earning per share. And fourth one, it provides hedge against inflation. Hedge means protection. It provides hedge against inflation. Financing by preference shares may provide a hedge against inflation due to the fixed financial commitment which was not affected by inflations. It was not affected by the inflations. Okay, so and the next one is no legal compulsion to pay dividend. A company does not face liquidation or any legal proceedings even if it fails to pay dividend. So in some cases the organization may not able to pay dividend. At that time it cannot face any legal obligations. So these are the benefits of preference shares. Okay. Then classification of shares. Here how we classify the shares? Redeemable. These shares are redeemed at the end of the stipulated period. In India, according to Section 80 of the Companies Act 1956, these shares are redeemed either out of fresh issue of equity shares or by creating capital redemption reserve fund out of profit and loss account and or general reserve, a sum equal to the face value of shares. But premium on such redemption, if any, is to be adjusted against share premium account and or profit and loss account. Simply saying, if the shares are redeemed at the certain time period, then those shares are called redeemable shares. If shares are redeemed after certain period, those shares are called as redeemable shares. And the second category is irredeemable shares. These shares are non-refundable to the holders during the lifetime of the firm. These are not redeemable. It may be mentioned here that after the commencement of the Companies Amendment Act 1988, which was again amended in 1996, no company limited by shares shall issue any redeemable shares after a period of 20 years. Earlier 10 years, now it is extended for 20 years from the date of issue. If the shares are not irredeemable during the lifetime of the firm, those shares are called as irredeemable shares, but preference shares after the issue of 20 years, they got redeemable from the company. Okay. And next one, cumulative. If in any year the dividend on the preference shares is not paid due to insufficient profit or loss, the arrear dividend together with the current one will be paid at the time of out of sufficient profits in subsequent years. That is, the arrear dividends will accumulate. If in the any financial year the organization is not able to pay dividend towards the preference shareholders and that dividend is accumulated to the next financial year, at that if the organization is getting surplus profits or surplus revenue, then it has to pay dividend for the last financial year and the present financial year. If such obligation is there, then we call those shares as a cumulative preference shares. But if the company goes into liquidation, no arrears dividends are payable unless the articles contain express provision about it. But in case of any reason, if the company is going to wind up or if the company is going to liquidation, then the company has no obligation to pay any cumulative dividend towards the preference shareholders. But if there is any expressed element is there in articles of association, then we have to pay, right? And non-cumulative preference shares. Here, dividend, if it is not paid due to the insufficient profit in any year, it cannot be claimed by the shareholder because those are non-cumulative preference shares. Here the dividend is non-cumulative. That is, arrears dividends will not accumulate, but they are to be treated as a par with other preference shareholders regarding repayment of capital. Next one, convertible and non-convertible. First one, convertible. We can convert preference shares into equity shares. See this. Convertible preference shares are those which can be converted into equity shares within a stipulated period of time. And non-convertible preference shares which are not converted into equity shares are called as non-convertible preference shares. And next one, participating preference shares. Here participating means they can participate in the profits after the payment of dividend to the equity shareholders. Let us see. These shareholders are entitled to take part in the surplus profits in addition to the prescribed fixed rate of dividend if the surplus profits are available. The surplus profits are distributed in a certain agreed ratio between equity shareholders and the participating preference shareholders. Sometimes they are also entitled to get the share of surplus of assets in case of liquidation if the articles provide. Which means, for example, the preference shareholders are already paid dividend. After the payment of dividend, remaining profit belongs to equity shareholders. So, here participating preference shareholders have the right to get profit in the remaining part also. Those preference shares are called participating preference shares. And non-participating preference shares. Here, it is the ordinary preference share which carry only a fixed rate of dividend. They are not entitled to take part in the surplus profits of the company and are also not entitled to share the surplus which arises after the company goes into liquidation. So, these are the common preference shareholder. Non-participating shareholders are the common preference shareholders. They will get only their part of dividend. They will not have any right to get participate in the remaining part of the profits. So, those are called non-participating preference shares. So, these are the different types of preference shares. First one, redeemable preference shares which can be redeemed after a certain time period. Irredeemable preference shares, these are not irredeemable during the lifetime of the company, but According to Companies Act, which is amended in 1988 and 1996, after 20 years the preference shares get redeemed from the organization, and cumulative here if there is if any financial year the company is not able to pay dividend, then those dividend is cumulated for the next year, and non-cumulative here the cumulative of dividend is not takes place, only the paid amount will be getting to the preference shareholders. Convertible, here convertible means the preference shares are convertible into equity shares. Non-convertible, here the preference shares are non-convertible into equity shares. Participating and non-participating preference shares. So, these are the different types of shares. Thank you.